Shout out to JJ McGraw for sending me this story, where in this picture you see Creighton's basketball coach by the name of Greg McDermott, who is pretty much on hot fire right now because of a comment he made towards his black basketball players. He basically made a Plantation reference comment towards them and only to his black players. Let's get into it. Creighton's men's basketball coach Greg McDermott told his players, several of whom are black, he needed them to stay on the plantation after Saturday's loss to Xavier. Guys, we got to stick together, he said. He told his players, according to a statement issued Tuesday. We need both feet in. I need everybody to stay on the plantation. I can't have anybody leave the plantation. Now, why does that sound like a slave master saying that to his slaves? I can't have anybody leaving the plantation. I need you to stay on the plantation. Those are some very potent words from two sentences. McDermott, who is white, apologized for his inappropriate words in the same statement. The 56-year-old called the 77-69 road loss emotionally tough and wrote that he immediately recognized my egregious mistake, addressing the team over his words quickly. That, you don't just come out and just straight up say that. Like, that's something that was probably floating in his head. I have never used that analogy and it's not indicative of who I am as a person or as a coach, wrote McDermott, the team's coach since 2010. I am deeply sorry. I have apologized to our student athletes and to our staff, as well as to President Reverend Daniel Hendrickson and Director of Athletics Bruce Rasmussen. Over the last 72 hours, I have engaged in multiple difficult conversations with student athletes, staff, students, and university administrators, and I realize the pain that my words have caused. For that, I sincerely apologize. Creighton assistant coach Terrence Rencher, who is black and a member of the coalition of Big East coaches committed to education around social justice, said he was deeply hurt by McDermott's words. Let me address what Coach McDermott said. I am deeply hurt by his words, Rencher said in a separate statement. While my relationship with the coach has been positive, I have never witnessed any racist energy from him. What he said was wrong and insensitive. Plantation has a dark and hurtful history in my community and cannot be overlooked. The players have decided that they want to continue to chase their goals on the court this season with Coach McDermott, and I support their wishes. The Omaha, Nebraska school called McDermott's language deplorable, and the statement said any discipline would remain confidential. While an apology is a start, and while we believe this was out of character for Coach McDermott, in no way does it diminish the fact that his remark was hurtful to many and has absolutely no place in Creighton's community, university's statement said. We have offered our full and unconditional support to those who was affected by his statement. Now, what I have gone on to also do is I went to see if I could find any more information about this Greg McDermott after these comments that he made. And according to an article, he was suspended. Now, this recently came out it came out today. I'm recording this on March 5th, 2021. They said Greg McDermott, the coach of Creighton's basketball team, has been suspended on the eve of the NCAA tournament after he admitted telling his players they needed to stay on the plantation in a post-game speech. McDermott admitted making the comments in the locker room on Saturday after the 14th ranked Blue Jays 77-69 loss at Xavier. McDermott, by his own account, told his guys, we need to stick together. We need both feet in. I need everybody to stay on the plantation. I can't have anybody leave the plantation. He coached the Blue Jays on Wednesday night, a 72-60 loss to number 10 Villanova, and the university announced the suspension on Thursday. In his virtual post-game news conference that night, McDermott admitted making an awful mistake, but declined to answer questions about his insensitive remarks. So that means basically, to me, he was ducking and dodging the questions that was asked. The pain that I caused our players who looked to me as a mentor and as a leader, the pain that I saw in their eyes was immense. The length of the suspension was not disclosed, but initially it will include the team's final regular season game, the Blue Jays Senior Day on Saturday against Butler. After that game, Creighton will travel to New York for the Big East Championship at 8-8 and ranked top 25. It is projected as a number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament that begins in 2 weeks. The fact that he even said that, like I said, he had that on his mind. And many palm-colored people love to tell black people to just get over it and, slavery was in the past and all stuff like that. Apparently, it wasn't too far in the past of this guy's mind for him to come out and say something like that. This does not add any type of credibility to their whack-ass arguments of, oh, it's in the past, get over it. Stop living there no more. We didn't own any slaves. You weren't a slave. But the way that this guy said that, You would think that he did. Don't leave the plantation. We need you on the plantation. Those were his words. He said it clear as day. And we know who he was directing that to, because they said most of the team is black. As a matter of fact, if you look at many PWIs, most of the black people there, and this is not even trying to be stereotypical, that you will see are the ones who are athletes, whether it's football or basketball. That's most of your black student body right there. You'll have some sprinkled elsewhere, but that's the majority of your student body at a PWI. And in case y'all don't know what a PWI is, it stands for predominantly white institution. And I bet you he isn't the only coach that has said something like this, but he's the only one that said it out loud. Sure, okay, you lost. But that does not excuse you to put something like that, something that insensitive, into a pep talk or a pep speech. Who says that? Stay on the plantation? But, no surprise there. It, like I said, it usually always rears its ugly head eventually. It may not show itself immediately, but it'll show itself eventually, like it did with this guy here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you text the number that is linked down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video.